Hello, my dear students, and this is part 2 of the exam number 1, evolution exam number 1. And we will start with question number 1. If 2x is equal to 10, what is the value of 4x? Some students here come and get the value of x, but it's better to just multiply by 2 to get the 4x directly in one step. So multiply both sides by 2 gives you 4x in the left side and 20 in the right side. No need to get the value of x alone because we need 4x. So now the answer is letter D. Second question, we have this diagram. What is the equation of the graph shown? To know that the graph, you need to recognize the direction of the line. This is a linear function with a decreasing direction. I mean, if you come from the left to right, you find the line moving down, which means the slope is negative. Slope here is negative, so we can exclude A or C because the slope is the number that's multiplied by x. Like here 2, like here 1. These are positive numbers. We are searching for a negative number. So the y-intercept, the slope is negative, but the y-intercept is a positive number, which is 12. So we have something, y is equal to mx plus b is our slope-intercept form of the equation. B is 12. So y is equal to something x plus 12. And this thing that comes beside x must be negative number. So how can we how can we search in the options? We have plus 12 in B and also in D. But here -1 and here -2. So our task now is to get the slope. How to get the slope? You can look at 2 points, like this point right here, and this one is okay to use it. And now we can think about the change in y over the change on x. Change in y is this distance, the vertical distance in this triangle, and the change in x is this horizontal distance. The vertical distance is starting from 0 to 12, so we have 12 over. The horizontal distance is from 0 to 6, which is equal to 6, but don't forget to write the negative sign. And 12 over 6 is equal to 2, so we have -2 to be written here beside the x. So y is equal to -2x plus 12, which is letter D. And now question number 3, we have a table of values. And these are actually values for an exponential function because you can look at the options. All of them are exponential, but this does not mean we don't read the question. We have to read it. The table shows the exponential relationship between the number of years x since Hannah started training in pole vault and the estimated height h of x in meters of her best pole vault for that year. Which of the following functions best represents this relationship where x is less than or equal to 4? So here we can recognize the answer easily by just looking at the initial. So 0 is always the initial value. So when you write the exponential function, we write y is equal to the initial is written here, and then b, or the rate with the change or the multiplier to the power of t or x. But here the initial should be the number that's associated with the 0. So here 1.25 should be written in the beginning here. And the number inside the parentheses. Because the numbers are increasing, so this number must be greater than 1. Must be greater than 1. In the first option, it's less than 1. The second one, 1.25, that's okay. It's greater than 1. Here, less than 1. Here is greater than 1. But which one is correct? We have to exclude this one because the initial is not 1.25. It should be 1.25 because it's with the 0 number. So the answer is here letter D because it has the two conditions applied. 1.25 as an initial number, and this number is more than 1, is greater than 1, which happens only in letter D. You can also look at Desmos, but how to write that table on Desmos to discover the exponential relationship? You can just draw a table and write the numbers 0, and here write 1.25. The second line is 2 with 1.80, and the third value is 4 with the number 2.59. And then we choose this sign here. It changes to be exponential. Once you write this, you can see something very similar to the answer or very close to the exponential function. I mean, if you look at the equation given here, you find 1.25031, which is very close to 1.25. And then the number that comes inside the parentheses is times 1.19. It's always 1.20. So it's something like, it's very close to 1.20, and then to the exponent of x. So we have to choose letter D. Number 4, the graph of the function f in the xy plane where y is equal to f of x has x-intercepts. Of all of these are x-intercepts. Which of the following must be true? F of 0 is equal to -2, f of 0 is equal to 3, or f of 10 is equal to 0, or f of 2 is equal to 0. Here, if we have a point like -2 and 0, this means that 0 is the image of -2, which means f of -2 is equal to 0. And for the second point, we have 3 and 0. This means f of 3 is equal to 0. And the third point is 10 and 0, which means f of 10 is equal to 0. Which one of these three statements is written in the options? Letter C. Yeah, f of 10 is equal to 0. Question number 5, x squared is equal to this number. How many distinct real solutions does the given equation have? In this kind of questions, when you have x squared in one side and a positive number in the other side, there are always two solutions, exactly two. If you are not familiar with this type of questions, you can also write everything on Desmos, even if you have some other additional numbers added, or maybe x squared plus 2x is equal to this number. So you have to graph it on the Desmos calculator to see the graph, how it appears. And x squared is equal to 2601. And once you graph it, you just make zoom, you can zoom out and see that there are 2 points already of intersection with the x-axis. This means that the graph has two solutions, or exactly 2 points on the x-axis, or 2 zeros. Okay, number 6. The function p of x is equal to 533 into 1.011 all to the power of x models the population of a certain town each year from 1951 through 1966. This is the period of time we are talking about, where x is the number of years after 1951. So when x is equal to 1, we are talking about 1952. X is equal to 3, we have to add 3 to this number to be 1954, and so on. So the starting point is there, this 1951 year. Which of the following is the best interpretation of f of p of 5 is approximately equal to this number? P of 5 means we replace x by 5. So p of 5 is the same as p of x. And x is the number of years after 1951, which means 5 years after 1951, which has another name. What is 5 years after 1951? It's 1951 plus 5, which means 1956. So maybe you can see this sentence, 5 years after 1951, or you can see this one, which is the same meaning. And the P is this number, which is the population. The population is 563 because this is the population in number of people. So we can say the options maybe we search for these numbers or these statements. The population of the town is estimated to be approximately 5. No, it should be approximately 563. So A is incorrect. B, the population of the town is estimated to be approximately 563. Yes, in 1956. Yes, this number we are talking about, because this is 5 years after 1951, which is a correct answer. So option B is the correct one. Why not C? Because the population of the town is estimated to be approximately 5 times. Of course, it's not correct. The population is 563. Letter D also incorrect because it says increase by 563. No, it's not an increase. It's the actual amount, the actual number of people. 563, not increasing. So the answer is B for this question. Now question number 7. The table shows the distribution of people in a certain city by age group. Less than 18 years old, 27%. Between 18 and 40, 24. Between 41 and 65, 28. And greater than 65 years old, there are 21%. If a person in the city is selected at random, which of the following is closest to the probability of selecting a person who is greater than 65 years old, given that the person is at least 18 years old? When you see the probability associated with this word, given that, this means that this is called a conditional probability. Conditional probability is equal to, you have to write down here, the number, everything written after the word given that. The person is at least 18, so we have to write something here related to this sentence. At least 18, what's the meaning of at least 18? It means all of these. 18 to 40, 41 to 65, or greater than 65. All of them are at least 18. So we have to add all of these together. We can write 24 down here. We can write 24% plus 28% plus 21%. And of course, you can ignore the word percent because we already have to write them up and down. So they can cancel each other. So in the upper one, what the probability is talking about? What the probability of selecting a person who is greater than 65 in this group only. So in the conditional probability, you have to focus on the group that you already put in the denominator, which is this one. So you have to search for inside these numbers for the person who is greater than 65 and how many people are greater than 65 in this group. Of course, this is 21%. So just write 21. Greater than 65 is only 21. Over what? Over all of these only, not including 27. Okay? So now we need to calculate this because we have as I told you before, we do not need to write the percentage sign up and down because they will cancel each other. So now we can calculate this, 21 divided by 24 plus 28 plus 21. And we get this answer, 0.287, which is very close to 0.29, which is answer letter B. Question number 8, for a certain rectangular region, the ratio of its length to its width is 10 to 4. Length to width is equal to 10 to 4. And then if the width of the rectangular region is increases by 7 units, so this length, this width will be increasing by 7 units. So we have to add 7 here, and here we have to add something. Okay, how must the length change to maintain the ratio? It means you have to add something here, like x for example, but you have to maintain this, not to change anything about it. So length to width is 10 to 4. So we have 10 to 4 must stay as 10 to 4, no change. But this 4 is increased by 7. So we have to add 7 here. And of course, 10 will be increasing by something. We don't know, so we write x. Now we can use Desmos to find the value of x. And if the x is a negative number, it will be decreasing. If it's a positive number, it's increasing. So this is how to deal with the proportional numbers. For example, 10 over 4, if you add something here, you have to add a number here, but not the same number. To keep or to maintain the same ratio, 10 to 4, you have to add a number like 7 down, and you have to add another number up to keep the same ratio. This number can be considered as x. This is what we did here. So 10 plus x. How can we calculate this? We can write 10, a fraction bar. Start with the division sign. Write 10 plus x up here, but write x1. And in the denominator, we write 4 plus 7, which is, you can write 11. And go to the right and make the tilde sign, which is this one. A fraction bar, and write 10 over 4. Or just write 10 divided by 4. And now we get the value of x, which is a positive number, 17.5, which means increasing by 17.5, letter C. Okay, question number 9. The expression 9x minus 28 multiplied by 15x plus 4 is equivalent to the expression ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constants. What is the value of b? Guys, here, if you want to calculate only b, you need to know where b comes from. Here, a, how can we recognize a? A comes from the first multiplied by the first. If I ask you about the value of a, just write 9 times 15. 9 times 15 is the value of a. How to get the value of c? 28 multiplied by 4. Sorry, negative 28 multiplied by 4. But what about b? If you want to get the value of b, which is the middle term, you need to multiply these outer numbers and the inner numbers and then add them all together. So I mean 9 times 4 plus negative 28 times 15. You can calculate this on Desmos and get the value of b. That's b. So b comes always from multiplying the numbers only without x. 9 times 4 and negative 28 times 15, and then multiply everything together. Let's see how to do it. 9 times 4 minus, you just write minus 28 times 15, and you get the answer negative 384. Negative 384. This is our answer. Sometimes we can use Desmos in another way. You can write the function. You can write the expression as it is, like 9x minus 28 plus 15x plus 4 as a function. And then we consider the function is the same as ax squared plus bx plus c. And then the calculator, the Desmos calculator, can give us everything about a, b, and c. Let's try it together here. We can start by writing the parentheses like this. Inside we can write 9x. You can write 9x1 minus 28. And in the other pair, we write 15x1 plus 4. Use this if you have maybe a hard numbers or bigger calculations. Plus 4 equal, you can just write tilde. And here we write ax1 squared, a x1 squared plus b x1 plus c. Of course, the calculator now does not return the answers easily because it gives you some different numbers, but you have to give the calculator some other values to take the answers from. I mean, just write x1 equals, you write equal and make a list of numbers. This list can be written inside the square brackets like these. And inside we write three numbers, any three different numbers, like 1, 2, and 3. And now we get the value of A, 135, the value of B, negative 384, which we are looking for. And now the value of C is negative 112. What about these numbers, 1, 2, and 3? Can we change them? Yes, we can. You can just choose any three numbers, like 0, but try to make them different. 0, 3, 2, and maybe 10. That's okay, you get the same numbers. So the answer of this question is B, equal to negative 384. Then question number 10. Rectangles ABCD and EFGH are similar. Similar means one of them is smaller in the size than the other one. The length of each side of EFGH is 6 times the length of the corresponding side of ABCD. So EFGH is the greater one. So let's draw it here. And we have the smaller one here. So this is ABCD. And here EFGH. Every side length in this is 6 times as this one. So for example, if this is 5, this will be 6 times 5, which is 30, and so on. And the question here says that the area of ABCD is 96. The area here is 96. What is the area of the other one, which is this number? Let's say A here. A2, for example. And we have a relationship between the area and the dimensions, or sorry, the length or the width or the perimeter. So we can say that area 1 over area 2 is equal to side length 1 over side length 2, but squared. Because the side length are 1 dimension, but the area is 2 dimensions. This is why you have to use this formula. A1 is the first area, which is 96, over A2, we don't know it, just keep A2, equals to S1 over S2. But we don't know the value of S1 and S2, but we know the relationship between them. As I told you, if this is 5, this will be 30. You just multiply it by 6. But what, this name this, for example, S. This will be 6S, because it's multiplied by 6. Or it's much easier to consider this 1. If this is 1, this will be 6 times 1, which is 6. This is the easiest number to use. So we write 1 up for the side length of the first rectangle, and 6 in the denominator that represents the other rectangle, and then square. And now we can obtain everything. You can get the value of A2 by Desmos or by using your calculator. Just make the fraction bar, and in the numerator write 96. In the denominator we write A2. Just write A, or yeah, any letter like A. Instead of equal, write tilde sign, because we are talking about something related to a letter inside an equation. And then parentheses, pair of parentheses like these, and in the write an exponent 2, and in the inside the in the parentheses make 1 over 6. And now we get the value of A, which is 3,456. As you can see, this is letter D. That's how to calculate this. And now we are moving to question 11. Question 11 says data set A and then data set B. As you can see, we have two data sets. Data set A and B each consist of 6 values as shown, where H is a constant. If the standard deviation of data set A is greater than that of data set B, which of the following could be the value of H? So the data set A is here. We have 6 values, 6 numbers, and here we also have 6 numbers, but one number is missing, which is H here. How can we get the value of H? Applying this condition. The standard deviation of data set A, this is greater than this. You can use Desmos to calculate the standard deviation. Just write STDEV. This is the meaning of the standard deviation. This is how to use the standard deviation on Desmos. Write these letters. ST, just write ST for standard, deviation DEV, like this, and open the parentheses to write the numbers. The numbers are 8, 11, 12, 15, 8, 11, 12, 15, 21, 27. And now the calculator returns the answer 8.3 or 8.36. Okay, let's make sure that the numbers are written properly. 8, 11, 12, yeah, 15, 15, and then 21, and then 27. Now the answer is 7.089. The answer, that standard deviation of this one is 7.089. Okay. Let's check the standard deviation of the other one, and you just keep this, the first one as it is. Standard deviation, just write STDEV and open the parentheses and write the numbers in the other list. 9, 12, 13. Then we have 16, 22, and H. But we do not know the value of H. So the question says H is 23 or 28 or 29. Let's try every one of them. Let's try 23 first, 23. And then the answer is 5.6, which makes A greater than B. Yeah, the standard deviation on A is greater than B, which is already written here, which means this is a correct one. So let's try the 28. Let's remove this 23 and make it 28. What happens? They are identically the same, which is we cannot get this answer as our option because it says it must be greater, not equal. Look at the numbers, they are identically the same. So this is incorrect. Of course, 29 would be also incorrect. Let's change 28 to be 29. Yeah, the upper one is 7.08, but the second one is 7.4, which makes the second one greater than the first one, which is not what we are looking for. So 23 is the only option we have. So only is our answer to this question. Number 12, we have this graph, and the question says a certain open star cluster contains M-type stars and K-type stars. The estimated total mass of M-type star and K-type stars in this open star cluster is 132,778 quitagrams. The graph shown models the possible combinations of the number of M-type stars X and the K-type stars Y. So X is M-type star and Y represent the K-type star. Okay, based on the graph, which of the following is closest to the estimated mass in quitagrams of each M-type star? Each M, I mean each one of these. So to know that, we need to choose a point and then to simply write the equation for on this point. I mean, for example, this point here is 160 quitagrams of M type, okay, but 0 on Y type, because this number is 160 and 0. So here we can consider the equation written as 160. Let's write the equation in the standard form. When you see a line like this one, you can write the equation in the standard form. AX plus BY is equal to C. And C here is the total, which is this number. So the estimated total mass, the total is this number. So we can write AX plus BY is equal to C, which is 132,778. And here 132,778. And here we can choose one point like this, because this point lies on the line, and this is the easiest one to choose, because X here can be replaced by 160 and 0 instead of Y. So we can write 160A plus B times 0 equals to the same number. Now these are cancelled, and now if you want to get the value of A, just divide by 160. So now we divide this number by 160, and we can do that here. 132,778 divided by 160, and you get the answer 829.8, which is very close to 828. As you can see here, letter A, 828. Because the question says which one is the closest number. The closest means the number that is very, if you round it, maybe you can find a similar number. Number 13, the function f is defined by this. We have a cubic function because it contains 3 x's multiplied. In the xy plane, the graph of y is equal to g of x is the result of translating the graph of y equals to f of x up 4 units, what the value of g of 0. So this is f. How to get g? G is the same as f, but up 4 units, which means g of x is equal to the same thing plus 4. Up 4 units means add 4 at the end. So x minus 9, x minus 6, x minus 5. All of them are staying the same, but just add 4 at the end of the question. And now we want to get g of 0. Now replace any x by 0. 0 minus 9, 0 minus 6, 0 minus 5, plus 4. 0 minus 9 means negative 9, negative 6, negative 5, plus 4. Negative 3 times means negative, and then you just multiply 9 times 30, which is 270. So we have negative 270 plus 4, which means negative 266. That's our answer. Using Desmos is also an option. You can write the function and the function f, for example. First, f of x here, and write equal, and open the 3 pairs of parentheses and write the numbers or the factors x minus 9 and x minus 6 and x minus 5. and you will have a graph. You see the graph later. But now we can focus on g of x, because g of x is the one that we are talking about. G of x is equal to, no need to write all of that. G of x is equal to f of x plus 4, because we have to add 4 units up to the function f of x. So you can just write f of x and then add 4 like this, plus 4. And the graph of g is the green one. So we can look at the green one and search for what is the value of g of 0. G of 0 means the y-intercept. G of 0, y-intercept of g, which means the green one. Yeah, we are focusing on the green one. You can hide the blue one by just clicking one here. Focus on the green one and search for the y-intercept. Here we are, negative 266, which is our answer. And now we move to question 14. At a depth of h meters below the surface, the estimated total pressure P in kilopascals, kPa, driver experienced is given by this equation, which is a combination of estimated water pressure and estimated atmospheric pressure. After maintaining a certain depth, the driver descends d additional meters. The estimated total pressure P2 the driver experienced after descending these d additional meters is given by this function. So we have another equation here. This after moving d additional meters below the surface. So which of the following is the best interpretation of 311 in this context? This number. What does this number mean? This number is at the beginning or initial, because this number refers to b. When you write the equation as y is equal to mx plus b, this is b here. b, which is the initial number, but in the phase 2, which means after we descend. After maintaining a certain depth, the diver descends d additional meters, starting from this. So let's look at the options here. The estimated total pressure in kPa, the diver experienced at depth of d meters. No, not depth of d meters. It should be after d meters. The estimated increase in total pressure, this is not an increase. The increase means that the slope, like 10. It's not the same answer. Letter C, the estimated increase also is not a correct answer. Increase here is not our answer. The last one, the estimated total pressure, the total pressure in the diver experienced when the diver began to descend d additional meters. That's the correct answer. Began, which means this is the beginning. After the additional d hours, which means letter D is our answer. Question 15. A circle has diameters AC and BD. The circumference of the circle is 84 pi. Let's draw it here together. This is our circle. It has diameters of AC and BD. Let's draw AC. Diameter means pass it through the center, and BD something like this. Okay, and the circumference is 84. Circumference is the length of all this circle around here, and the length of DA, this number, is 2 times the length of arc AB. So we can consider this as x here, and this is 2x, because this doubled this one. So AD or DA is double or 2 times AB, which makes this 2x, and this is x. And because this is the center of the circle, this will be also 2x here, and this down here, DC must be x. And because the total is 84 pi, which means the circumference, we need to get anything like BC by applying this formula. The circumference is equal to 84 pi. What is the circumference? Circumference is the total of all of these. So we can write 2x plus x plus 2x plus x. All of that is equal to 84 pi. Let's add these all together. X plus x, 2x, and 4x will be 6x is equal to 84 pi. And now we divide by 6 to get x. And x here is equal to what? X will be equal to 14 pi. But this does not mean we choose 14. No, because we need BC. And BC is not x. BC is 2x. So BC is equal to 2x. And x is 14 pi. So we multiply 14 by 2 to get 28 pi, which is letter D. And now question number 16. In triangle XYZ, angle Y is a right angle. The measure of angle Z is 39. So we just try to draw it here. Make this the right triangle. Y is the right angle. And the measure of angle Z is 39. Let's consider this Z 39 degrees. And this is X. Okay, and the length of YZ is 22. YZ is 22. If the area in square meters of the triangle XYZ can be represented by the expression K tan 39. K tan 39. So the area is equal to K tan 39. And then what is the value of K? The question says K is a constant. What is the value of K? If you want to get the K, we need to know this. What is the meaning of tan 39? Tan 39 here is the opposite over the adjacent. Let's name the opposite here H, because this is the height of the triangle. So tan 39 is equal to opposite H over 22, which is the adjacent. Okay, so now the area. What is the area of a triangle? We can also consider something to replace this. The area of a triangle is equal to half base times height. So half times base is 22, times height, which is H. And now we write K times tan 39. Tan 39 is here, H over 22. Okay, that's how to calculate the value of K. If you want to get K, we divide both sides by H, because now we can get rid of the H here. H here cancels, and H here is also canceling this. So in the left side, we have half of 22. Half times 22 is 11. And in the right side, we have K over 22. Over, this is down here. So K over 22. Now, if you want to get the value of K, just cross multiply. K times 1 is K. 11 times 22. 11 times 22 is 242. How to know that? 11 times any number, like 35. Just write 3 and 5 and add 3 plus 5 to be 8. That's how to get any number multiplied by 11. The same thing, 11 times 22, write 2 and 2 and add the 2's together to get 4. So the answer is 242. Now we jump to question 17. In right triangle RST, the sum of the measures of angle R and angle S is 90 degrees. The value of sine R is this number. What is the value of cosine S? So remember that if we have a complementary angles, if you have two complementary angles have the total of 90, okay, 90 degrees as a total. This means sine one of them is equal to cosine the other one. This is a very important rule to use here. So the total of R and S is 90, which means they are complementary. The value of sine one of them is this number, so the cosine of the other letter is the same number. So the answer must be 3 square root 17 over 13, which is the same number, letter B. Now question 18. The composition of an animal is defined as the muscles, bones, and fat of the animal. A scientist studied the composition of one young swamp buffalo and determined the buffalo had 133 kilograms of muscle, which made up approximately 65.9% of its composition. Of the remaining composition of this buffalo, approximately 46.2% was bone, and the remainder was fat. Based on these approximations to the nearest tenth, how many kilograms of this buffalo's composition was bone? So here we need to remember that the composition C, for example, consists of three things. Muscle, M, bones, B, and then fat, F. And the question says here, the composition of one buffalo has determined that the buffalo has 133 kilograms of muscle. So this is 133. Which made up means 133 is equal to approximately 65.9% of the composition, C. So now we can get the composition by dividing both sides by 65.9%. Here 65.9%. You can simplify this, these are cancelled, so it's equal to 133 over 65.9, and this percentage sign moves 2 zeros up here. So you can find the value of C using your calculator by this. 13300 divided by 65.9. And we have 201.8, about 201.8. So this C is 201.8, the composition. 133 out of them is the muscle. And the question says that next that of the remaining, what is the remaining is you subtract this minus this. This is the remaining composition of the buffalo, approximately 46.2% of the remaining. So 46.2% of the remaining. What the remaining is to subtract this minus this, which means 201.8 minus 133 is what? Is bone. And the question is what is the value of bone? So we need to get this only. So we can multiply this on Desmos, write the numbers 46.2%. How to write percent? Just write PERCENT and then open the parentheses and then subtract to get the remainder. 201.8 minus 133 to get the answer 31.7 or 31.8. The question says to the nearest tenth, means when you see the number like this 31.78, we need to write it as 31.8. That's our answer. Question 19, which of the following expressions has a factor of x plus 2b, where b is a positive integer constant? Which of these has this factor x plus 2b? And b is a positive integer. Guys, remember that when I say a factor, this means when you have a factor like x plus 2b is a factor, this means when you set this equal to 0, x plus 2b is equal to 0, you can move the 2b to the other side to be x equals to negative 2b. And then when you substitute in any of these equations, you need to replace x by negative 2b. And b becomes a positive integer. So let's apply this, for example, in letter A. 3x squared plus 9x plus 18b is equal to 0. You have to write 0 here because the factor means when you substitute, you have nothing left. So instead of x, write negative 2b, and then calculate. Negative 2b squared is 4b squared. 4b squared times 3 is 12b squared. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18b, and then plus 18b. This will be equal to 0. These are cancelled, and now we have 12b squared is equal to 0. If you want to get the value of b, just divide by 12 to get b squared is equal to 0, which means b is equal to 0. This is not our answer because it must be a positive integer. And now it's not a positive, it's at 0. So this option is incorrect. Let's check letter B. 3x squared, you can just write the same thing because the equations are very similar, but instead of the 9, we need to change this to be 24. You can also calculate the parts that in the left and the right. So negative 2 squared means 4b squared times 3 is also 12b squared, and this is the same thing, plus 18b is equal to 0. The changing is only in here, negative 48b. So 12b squared minus 48b plus 18b is minus 30b. Minus 30b is equal to 0. Now, if we want to simplify this, b is not equal to 0, so we can divide by b. divide all of them by b. So b, 12b squared divided by b is 12b only, minus 30, b cancels b, 0 over b is equal to 0. Move the 30, you get 12b is equal to 30. If you want to get b, just divide by 12, and you get b as 30 over 12, divide up and down by 6, and you get 5 over 2, which is 2.5. It's not an integer. Integer means has no decimal numbers or fractions. And now we apply the third one. So b is incorrect. C, 3 times negative 2b all squared. The same thing. You can just apply this, but instead of this 24, we write 30. So this is also 12b squared, and this is plus 18b. 30 times negative 2 is negative 60b. So 12b squared, negative 60b plus 18b is negative 42b. Divide by b, this should be equal to 0. Divide by b also, get 12b minus 42 is equal to 0, which means 12b equals to 42. When you divide by 12, you get b equals to 7 over 2, which is also not an integer. So C is incorrect. If you want to check for D, you just replace this 30 by 39. So 3 times this, it will be also 12b squared. This will be plus 39 times negative 2b plus 18b. And this 12b squared stays the same. Negative 2 times 39 is negative 78b plus 18b is equal to 0. And now we combine these together to get 12b squared minus 60b is equal to 0. Divide by b, you get 12b minus 60 is equal to 0. Just move the 60 right here. 12b is equal to 60. Divide by 12, you get b is equal to 5. This is the only number that is a positive integer, which means this is our solution. I hope you understand this idea here. And now we go to question number 20. We have this linear equation, 31x minus n equals 31y plus 31n. One of the equations in the system of two linear equations is given. This is one of the equations in the system, where n is a positive constant. The system has no solution. Which equation could be the second equation in the system? So here, if you want to get the second equation, you need to remember this. Ax plus by is equal to c, and this is a1 and this is b1 and this is c1. If you have another one like a2x plus b2y is equal to c2, for the two equations to have no solution, a1 must be equal to a1 over a2 must be equal to b1 over b2, but not equal to c1 over c2. For example, 3x plus 5y is equal to 7, and maybe you can write 6x plus 10y is equal to 4. Now 3 over 6 is half, 5 over 10 is half, but 7 over 4 is not half. This means they have no solution, or they are present parallel lines. The same thing happens here, but we need to simplify this equation given here. We have this equation, we need to distribute. 31 times x is 31x, minus 31 times n, 31n, equals to 31y plus 31n. We need to combine x and y together. We need to move this number and this number here. 31x plus minus 31y is equal to 31n plus 31n is 61n. So the second equation here should contain different signs, as you can see here, but let's check the first one. For example, 3x minus 3y is equal to 6n. If you check this one, you can see that here 31 divided by 3 is equal to, just say, 31 over 3. And what about this one? Sorry, this is 62. 31 plus 31 is 62, okay? 31 divided by 3 is 31 over 3. And then negative 31 divided by negative 3 is the same as 31 over 3. And 62n divided by 6n is equal to 31 over 3, and n cancels n. So this is equal to this is equal to this. This is infinitely many solution, not no solution. As I told you before, C cannot be equal to them. The last one should be different. So A is incorrect. Let's check B. 31 divided by, this is plus, and this is 3n. This is B. 31 divided by 3 is not the same as negative 31 by 3. This is positive and this is negative. They are not the same. So B is incorrect. And it's also the same case of letter C. 31 divided by 3 is not the same as negative 31 divided by 3. But what about the last one? Yeah, 31 divided by 3, this is 3x minus 3y equal to 3n. 31 divided by 3 is 31 over 3. Negative over negative is positive, 31 over 3, okay. And 62 divided by 3 is 31 over 1, which is different. So now this is equal to this one and not equal to this one, which applies our rule here, which makes it no solution. So option D is our answer. Question number 21, the cost of renting a piece of equipment is $64 for the first day and $32 for each additional day, where n is a positive integer. Which of the following functions give the cost C in dollars of renting the equipment for X days, where X is the positive integer? When you see the word 32 or amount of money, for example, for the first day, and then another amount for the additional days, you can write the equation like this. Y is equal to mx plus, instead of mx plus b, m of x minus 1. Because for the first day, we have some kind of calculation, and for any additional days, we have something different. So here, we can write y is equal to m for the word each. And each here is this number, 32n. For any x plus, or sorry, minus 1, x minus 1. And then plus b is the initial number for the first day, which is 64n. That's how to write the equation. But if you look at the options, you can see c of x instead of y. So no problem, c of x is equal to, just distribute this. 32n times x is 32nx. Minus 32n times 1 is 32n. And then plus 64n. These are like terms to be combined. So 32nx minus 32n plus 64n is plus 32n. This is our answer, which is letter, as you can see here, letter B. 32nx, sorry, letter A. 32nx plus 32n, letter A. And we now go to the last question. In triangle ABC, the triangle DAF, sides, these are two triangles, sides AB and DE each have a side length of 6 inches. Let's draw them together. Draw any random triangles. This is the first one. Let's make the second one similar to it. Make it here. It's congruent, so it must be the same thing. ABC and DEF. And then DE, AB and DE each have a side length of 6. AB is 6 and DE is also 6. So they are equal in length. Okay. And the angles A and D each have an angle measure of 40. A is 40 degrees and D is also 40 degrees. Which of the following additional pieces of information is or are sufficient to prove that whether the triangles are congruent? And let's see together, how can two triangles be congruent? We have many ways to consider that. We have something called SAS, we have SSS, we have also ASA, and we have something called HL. And HL here is the hypotenuse leg for the right triangles, but these are not mentioned as right triangles, so ignore this one. So maybe it's SAS or SSS or ASA. So how can we prove that? We already have an angle. This 40 and this is 40 makes 1A. Side 6 and side 6, this is S. So you can write S here or maybe here. So this is incorrect. We cannot look at the SSS because we have already one angle. So we need to have ASA, so we need to search for another angle, maybe ASA, because we already have A and S. A is the angle, S is the side. Or maybe SAS, we have A and S here, so we are searching for a letter S, I mean a side. So we search for an angle to be equal, an angle from here is equal to an angle here, or a side here is equal to a side here. Number 1, the measure of angle B and C are equal. Is this okay? This is an angle? No, because B and C both are in one triangle. It should be B and E or C and F, not B and C. So this is not sufficient to prove that the triangles are congruent. Number 2, the length of sides AC and DF are equal. AC and DF, yeah, that's it. AC and AF makes SAS, because this is one side, another side is already given, and this is the angle between them. So that's okay. Letter B, number 2 is okay. What about the last one? The length of sides BC and EF are equal. BC and EF, no, they cannot be considered an answer, because if you have this and this are equal, now we have something called side angle, because if you want to use SAS, the angle must be between the two sides, not after them. I mean, if you have a triangle like this, if you take this angle, you have to take this side and this side, not this one, okay, because they are surrounding the angle. So now number 2 is the correct one. Number 3 is not that sufficient alone. So let's choose the answer. 1 is sufficient? Of course no, 1 is not sufficient. 2 is sufficient, but 1 and 3 are not? Maybe. 3 is sufficient, but 1 and 2 are not? No. 2 is sufficient, and 3 is sufficient, but 1 is not. Yes, no, we cannot choose letter D, because 3 is not sufficient. As I told you, if you have this angle and we need the additional information, look at the question, says what? The question says which additional information. So we have to consider 40 with us. 40 is one of the pieces of information given, and also the 6. Angle, side. So we have to search for another side to make them surrounding the same angle. So only 2 is the answer. 2 is sufficient, but 1 and 3 are not, which is letter B. That's all about the conditions of congruence. I hope you understand this. I hope you get something from our lesson, and see you in the other videos. Thank you very much. Bye.